Hi, today is Friday, May 12th, 2017, and this is A Swede Speaks. And today is the day for the first episode of the series about the Swedish history of ideas. And today I am going to talk about some of the late Vikings. I first thought I would make the first episode would be about the late Viking Age and early Swedish Middle Ages. But when I started writing down ideas, I soon realized that that would be a very long video. So I decided that the first video will be about Erik the Victorious and his son Olaf, who had an interesting nickname, which I will get into a little later, and the things that went on with them, the people connected to them, the ideas, some of this. So let's get started. Erik the Victorious, in Swedish, Erik Segersäll, he was king of Sweden from about 970 until his death in 995. And he is the first Swedish king of which we have definite knowledge. There are some saga kings before him, and I suppose most of them, or at least some of them, actually existed. But the things that we know about them is very scarce. It's lots of saga, a lot of traditions we don't really know what's true or not. And this is even true about Erik. So let's get into Erik now. Erik's kingdom was not what we know as Sweden. Erik ruled Uppland and some of the neighboring provinces. So it was just a small part of today's Sweden. He was given the name the Victorious because he defeated an invasion from the south in the battle of Fyrisvelur, which is close to Uppsala. And the opponent was a man named Styrbjörn the Strong, who was supposedly his nephew. We don't know this. This is a myth. It might be true, it might not be true. He was supposedly Erik's nephew, but we don't know that. And Erik probably founded Sigtuna, which is an interesting city. And Erik is. It is said that Erik expelled King Svein Forkbeard from Denmark, and that after that Erik reigned Denmark until he died. And Erik is mentioned by the German chronicler Adam of Bremen, who wrote about Erik Adam wrote down this stuff around the year of 1075. And supposedly, when Erik stayed in Denmark after having conquered Denmark, he was baptized, and he was the first Swedish king to be baptized, as far as we know. It is, however, said that Erik went back to heathendom a little later. And after Erik's death, Svein returned to Denmark and he regained his old throne, the Danish throne. And also Svein married Erik's widow, who was either named Sigrid the Haughty or was a Polish princess who in Scandinavia went by the name Gunhild and in Poland was known as Sviatosława. And the identity of Erik's and Svein's wife is very sketchy. We don't really know. There are historians battling each other on whether she was a homegrown Scandinavian woman who was called the Haughty and who was very strong-willed, or if it was a Polish princess and who should have been the daughter of Duke Mieszko I of Poland, who, by the way, I think was the first Polish ruler to be baptized. But we don't know this. This is sketchy. There are a lot of fears about this, so I haven't said this as a fact. I'm saying this is the things they are debating. Anyway, because of Svein's marriage to Erik's widow, this created sort of an alliance between the Swedish and the Danish royal houses. And after Erik's death, not only did Svein get his kingdom back, but Erik's son, Olaf, known as Olaf Skötkonung, inherited Sweden. And let's take Olaf's name first before I mention anything else. Skötkonung, we don't really know what this means. The latter part of it, konung, means king. This much we know. But sköt, it could have something to do with the old word of skatt, which is tax, and this could imply that Olaf was the first king of Sweden to be able to tax his people, and there are actually coins in his name. Or it could have something to do with the word for lap, sköte. So we don't really know this. But what we do know, or what we think we know at least, this is pretty certain I think, Olaf left paganism and became a Christian, and he remained one for the rest of his life. So Olaf would be the first Swedish king to remain a Christian throughout his life, from the day of his baptism. And he was supposedly baptized in Husaby in Västergötland, in the west of Sweden, by the English-born missionary Siegfried. And by the way, Siegfried is still a name for Swedish males. Not very common, but it's out there. There are some people with this name. And even in Finland, because they were influenced by Sweden. But we'll get to that in a later episode. Some of the things Olaf did. He led an expedition to Wendland, which is in today's Germany, somewhere in Lower Saxony, I think, where he captured a woman named Edla, who was daughter of a Wendish chieftain, and he kept her as a mistress. Did I mention that Swedes used to be savages? And he also had a wife, of course. I'm not going to go into all the gallery of people here. I'm just giving you... This was like when when Swedes started leaving paganism and turned to Christianity. And it started with the kings. So this is what I'm going to tell you about right now, or what I have told you about right now. These two kings and their families, some of their wars, and that they turned to Christianity. Eric left it, but Olaf stayed with it, and that's good. Also, Olaf waged war on Norway and on Denmark imperials. Well, these were violent times. As I said, we were savages. And before I end this, I would also like to mention one more thing. I just have to mention this. I might actually be descended from these people. I am not 100% certain, because there are a few question marks in this line that I have to work on. So I'm not saying I am a descendant of Eric and his son Olaf. I might be. I might actually also be a descendant of Sweyn Forkbeard through another line, but I am not sure about this. So let's take it for what it is. Take it with a big grain of salt, but I find it interesting that I actually might be a result of their bloodlines. But let me state this too. This is nothing uncommon in Scandinavia. I guess most Scandinavians are descended from these people, whether they can prove it or not, and whether we can find these lines or not, because this is 30-something generations before my birth. Anyway, but this was the first episode, and I hope you found any interest in this. I hope you learned something. I am going to add some links in the information box, and even though I'm going to add Wikipedia entries and we know what we think about Wikipedia, from there you can go on further if you want to investigate this more. So that's what I have to say about this right now. And I would like to thank the people who are supporting this channel. By the way, I intend to make a new episode of this series next Friday. I think I'm going to do this every Friday until I run out of material for the Swedish history. So that's what I'm going to do. And I would like to thank everyone supporting this channel through prayers, through Patreon, through PayPal. I am thinking of next week I might start introducing some tiers for donors or patrons. Maybe I will do shoutouts or something. We will see. I'm thinking about it. And if you like this channel, please subscribe so you don't miss anything. And please share my videos on social media, on Facebook and Twitter, and any social media that allows you to share. I have now surpassed 1,000 subscribers, and that was a big milestone for me. So a very big thank you to everyone who helped me with this. And please help me move on further towards 1,500 and 2,000. That is greatly appreciated. If you got something to say, please comment. If you like this video, please like it. And I would also like to encourage you to support this channel. And I will include all the necessary information in the box below. This is a Swede Speaks. Have a nice day.